Hubbart, the so-called pillowcase rapist, is said to be released from a California prison, and a court determined the best place for him to live is the Antelope Valley community of Juniper Hills. This is just south of Pear Blossom. Residents there are outraged.
More criminals and more predators in the Antelope Valley. They're making us a dumping ground.
We all moved out here to get away from this stuff.
Now we have to walk on the road.
Hubbart has admitted to raping at least 40 women. Officials put that number closer to 100. Hubbart got his gruesome nickname because he muffled his victims' screams with a pillowcase. Beginning in 1972, he served time for raping several women in LA County. He was released, went to the Bay Area, and then raped again. Hubbart was released a third time and did it again. And in 2014, he was placed in a home in the high desert, but violated the terms of his parole and went back into state custody. I want to bring in LA County Supervisor Kathryn Barger, whose district includes the Antelope Valley. Supervisor, thanks for being with me tonight. We just heard from some of your constituents. They made their points loud and clear last night. What is your reaction to this potential move by a court to allow Hubbart to live in the Antelope Valley?
I'm adamantly opposed. I was adamantly opposed in 2017 when they did this and actually revoked his release. And once again, we're going down this path. And, you know, I refuse to let the Antelope Valley be the dumping ground for sexual predators. And this man, quite frankly, given his track record, doesn't even deserve to be on conditional release, as far as I'm concerned. But if they are going to move forward with the release, I feel that they should at the very least, have the hearing up in the Antelope Valley to allow my constituents an opportunity to express their concerns and educate the individuals about the area that they are planning to release this predator in. And I am adamantly opposed. I'm proud of the residents of Juniper Hills who have been vocal, they've been calm, they've been rational, and they provided ample reasons why this is the inappropriate place to place this person.
You mentioned that you're hoping that the case gets moved literally to the Antelope Valley courthouse there. Right now is set to happen in an LA Superior Court. This decision is supposed to come down on October the 1st. What can you realistically do to stop this, to fight this from happening?
Well, I'm going to do everything in my power, and obviously working with the courts who have been fair, and I hope that they'll recognize that if you want transparency and you want it to be a fair hearing, you should allow the residents to be there. And the Antelope Valley in the North County is an isolated area, and they have a courthouse up there. So at the very least, they should move the hearing up there so that my constituents, as well as electeds and representatives from both Lancaster and Palmdale, can be present to express their concerns.
You know, you mentioned this would be a conditional release. What are those conditions in which Christopher Hubbart would live under? Because I can't imagine that he'd be able to go freely.
As a taxpayer, I'm also outraged. The cost to allow this individual to go back into the community, to me, is offensive. He was given life, as you stated, 40 that we know, but they're estimating upwards of 100 women. He's violated his conditions several times. And I feel, why are we putting the victims last and a predator first? So I'm actually, as a taxpayer, outraged. I also have heard that the costs that they are paying to rent this home exceed what the house values are up there, which tells me that there are individuals that are capitalizing on this CONREP program where they're placing sexual predators up in areas, and I'm just outraged. And so I'm going to make my voice heard, and I'm going to be supporting my constituents who have every right to stand tall and say, enough is enough, we're not going to be a dumping ground.
One of the residents last night pointed out there are about 1,500 women who are in close proximity to where Hubbart would be living. You have concerns like spotty internet access or cell service as well?
As well as the fact that, you know, we're already down sheriff's deputies, so the response time is longer in areas like Juniper Hills and Pear Blossom and Lake Los Angeles. And I don't think these were taken into consideration. I know, I can't believe they would have been taken into consideration. This is not the appropriate placement, and women and children. And then you've got Devil's Punch Bowl, which is a recreational area that many people go and frequent, that is in close proximity. This is just a recipe for disaster.
This is one of those things where I would think that this is a NIMBY issue in that it's not a great issue for your location for your constituents, and somebody else would say it's not great here.
Yeah, well, I think I think they need to really rethink how they're putting this program together. Because at the end of the day, you know, how many times are we going to let a person out and then have them violate and go back in? I mean, the anguish it's putting on my constituents for the second time in the Antelope Valley is tremendous. And so, as far as I'm concerned, again, as a taxpayer, the cost to let this evil individual back out is offensive.
Yeah, and you're not alone. LA County District Attorney George Gascon, his office put out a statement too and said that this shouldn't be happening as well. So obviously we'll stay on top of this and check in with you throughout as we get toward October the 1st and see what happens then. LA County Supervisor Kathryn Barger, thank you so much for being with me tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, over to you.